Okay, so the chapter's just dropped here. It's almost midnight here in Australia, nearly early Saturday morning. Can't wait for this chapter. So in the last chapter we had Kurapika about to face off against Vincent, the assassin that the first prince of Kaikin, Benjamin, sent. So we don't know how strong this guy is, Vincent, really. I reckon Kurapika's going to finish him pretty quickly, but let's get right into it and see. So chapter 364, Expectation. So we have Kurapika's monologue here. He's one of the first prince's private troops and an official member of the king's army. Even a clear and obvious lie like this could all too easily end up being turned into the truth. So then what would happen if we used the self-defense rule to take him out? And Vincent says, "Oh, that's no good there." Yeah. And Kurapika continues with his monologue. If we went that route, we'd be imprisoned by the king's army as assassins and without a doubt be found guilty. So Vincent says, "If you come any closer, I'll have to conclude that your accomplices in the assassination plot, so Cyril, Woody, Bill, etc., of the 14th Prince Wobble, and I'll have to take self-defensive action." Kurapika says in his mind he wants to leave the Queen and the Prince together, the last servant, and let the next assassination kill them all in order to complete the scenario of the servant assassinated the Prince and Queen and then killed herself. Yeah, so he's putting Kurapika in a predicament here. Kurapika can't kill this guy right away because other guards will come after him thinking he's a part of the assassination plot. And yeah, Kurapika's in a tough situation here, but this guy's doing the same thing as what he did at the end of last chapter. His actions in his words are very sarcastic as what he's saying. You know, he says we'll take self-defensive action, meaning he just wants to try and kill him. Next page. Yeah, let's get away from the fan art. Right, here we go. Okay, so the woman's down, bodyguard. "Very wise. I take it you are the one that made the emergency call, Kurapika." "That's right. As you know, there are a great many things after the prince's life, and based on what we each have to gain in this situation, you're the most dangerous out of all of us. I wouldn't dream of it. Yeah. What I'm after here is cooperation. I've come here to resolve the problem that stem from this room. So, how about cooperating with me? If you do that, I'll spare your life, scum." He's on a totally different level compared to I hate this guy, I don't know why. "No matter what happens to us, we will protect the two of you." And Obito looks absolutely shocked and Wobble is crying his lungs out. And Kurapika says, "That is why we are here. Will you trust me, Prince Wobble, Queen Obito?" Scarlet eyes are out, baby. Here we go. And Wobble, he was crying before, but now he's very calm and he wants to touch Kurapika. And Obito says, "I will trust you no matter what happens." Okay, so yeah, I can't remember exactly, but one of Kurapika's abilities with his scarlet eyes calms Wobble down. To saying there's a previous chapter in the previous run that showed this. I can't remember exactly, but Wobble was very loud and combative. He was crying, and then he calmed down when Kurapika said so. So yeah, maybe something to keep an eye out there for future chapters. Shit, the fucking judgment chains, I tell you. Oh, what? Here we go. Oh, the chains on Obito and Wobble. What? What's going on? Yeah, even Vincent, he's completely shocked right now. Yeah, so he's taking over her mind. Yeah. "Lady Obito, I am communicating directly to your mind." Now Kurapika can communicate with Obito telepathically. It's just like when you see the judgment chain, it's just like so shocking. I don't know why, I'm probably overreacting for some stupid reason, but yeah, we are currently connected by Kurapika's abilities. The dolphin, I hate the design, but whatever, I don't know. It's the needles and the patterns, just I don't really like it. There's, out of all the Nen beasts that we've had introduced recently in the series, yeah, this is probably one of the ones I don't like. "I have transferred the right to use Little Eye, which I have been equipped with from Kurapika to you, Lady Obito. This will be in effect until the ability is activated. Presently, the only ones that can see me are Kurapika and yourself. Okay, that's the bloody dolphin talking. He's attacking the Queen. Is this a yes to our cooperation? Yeah, so Vincent's stunned. He doesn't know what's going on. He hasn't seen his ability before. Where is the other bodyguard? So Bill's going at it. He's about to attack Vincent. Is Kurapika controlling Bill right now? I can't remember exactly what we learned from one of the previous chapters, but we'll continue anyway. So Vincent gets his gun out and looks like he's shot Bill, and the bullets are being absorbed. Shit. On top of using his arms in that stance to protect his vitals, he's guarding himself with Nen. Yeah, I won't be able to stop him with just a gun. Air blows, yeah, so this guy knows some Nen as well, and we have here confrontation between the two. It didn't work. Yeah, so sorry. So Bill's blocked it. Oh shit, and Kurapika has the chains on Vincent, does he? Yeah, he does. My aura is being drained. Stealth Dolphin. By using my index fingers, Emperor Time, I can transfer an ability I've taken to someone else, which means I can take another ability using Chain Steel. So is he going to take Vincent's ability? And Bill attacks him, gets slammed to the ground, the gun out of his hand. For your attempted assassination of 14th Prince Lovell, I hereby restrain you. What are you talking about? You are the ones that ignored my warnings and attacked me. I just came here as a royal bodyguard to help defend the Queen and the Prince. Kurapika, playing it smart as always. I will testify. No matter what underhanded tricks you try to use, or dirty methods you try to employ, the one that came here after our lives, and the one that killed the innocent Sandra, was you, Vincent. Damn right. Fucking true. Do not worry, Queen Oito. If I use my ability, he'll confess to everything on the witness stand on his own. Yeah, we know that. We definitely know that. And now he's fucking controlling him. The stress is coming up on Vincent's face, all around his veins. What's wrong? It's poison. He must have had it in one of his back teeth. Make him throw it up. He took it with great conviction and resolve. We're probably too late. Please get in contact with the Royal Army. You're going to hand him over just like that? What about his confession? I know indeed it's unfortunate, but this isn't a case that will get wrapped up in the shit court alone. And unless we can get an immediate arrest of the mastermind with his confession, we need to avoid it. Consider the risks that will arise after having us and the Queen appear in court. If the first Prince's camp is just watching us carefully, then we shouldn't make any moves either. So again, Kurapika, this is why he's so good. He's playing it cautious because he knows if he goes to court, there's too much of a risk of him, Wobble and Oito getting everyone seeing him and potentially assassinated. And this guy, Vincent, I did not expect him to go to such extreme lengths to put poison in his mouth and attempt to kill himself. But now we see how intense the first Prince camp is. Prince Benjamin, he doesn't, he has guards and staff and assassins and bodyguards that are willing to sacrifice their lives, kill themselves in order to not give up any evidence that could lead to putting Prince Benjamin in harm. So, we've seen in the last chapter how Benjamin is a proud man with a lot of pride and honour for the family of Kaikin, but at the same time, he's letting his men underneath him do all these dirty tactics. So, we can see Benjamin, he's willing to do anything, any tactics needed to become king, and if he has to sacrifice a couple of men, he's fine with that, which is pretty low. Let's move the corpse over here, so he's dead. Wait a second. It seems they noticed it. Yeah, so I can't remember this guy's name, starts with M or something. The bald black fellow with the mustache. The connection has been lost. The real problem here is the enemy's ability. Just a few seconds after the gunshot, he was restrained. Yeah, but they can't see his ability. If Vincent were able to use his Nen normally, even in a 2 versus 1 situation, it's very hard to believe that he would get overpowered in a matter of seconds. One of the enemies must have some kind of method to render Vincent unable to use his Nen, which forced him to fight back with his gun. Or, on the other hand, he could have an ability that could extract a confession, and the first point appeared. The opposite could also be possible. Perhaps he hesitated to use his net ability, not wanting to show it to his enemy, and so chose to use his gun. That decision would have backfired and allowed the enemy to restrain him. And that's what happened, yeah. I will instruct the other soldiers to use their net abilities immediately after invoking their right to self-defense. But what bothers me still comes back around the enemy's ability. It just doesn't add up. If the enemy is a manipulator, most of the time they require a vocal command to use their abilities, but that wasn't the case. On top of that, Vincent was able to shoot, resist, and poison himself. Is it possible that it was a bluff? If that's true, then they would have already been aware of our monitoring at that time. It definitely wasn't a bluff. Yes, but we can't say that his ability is completely a lie. They continue, but if we consider that he deliberately let us hear him, then the whole interaction comes together clearly. After all, if they laid hints that they have someone with the ability to manipulate humans with them, then they would force us to stay cautious and inactive. As far as Vincent choosing to take his own life, well, that's just the kind of man he was. Balls of steel and prepared to die at any action, yeah. Dying for the cause, Benjamin to become the next king. Although there's only 2 bodyguards left now, they are unexpectedly loyal to their mission, and they might possess some troublesome abilities. How interesting, Benjamin says, and a smart smirk grin on his face. Babby Mania, will you take over for Vincent? Yes, sir. The situation has changed, so the mission must change as well. What I am entrusting with you here is a mission of the absolute utmost importance. Failure will not be tolerated. Meaning, if you fail, you have to kill yourself or die to not leave evidence. And he's so serious, Benjamin, as well. Complete this mission even if it costs you your life. Yes, sir. And his guards are agreeing with absolute certainty. They are willing to risk their lives or even kill themselves to make the mission a success. So we have some dialogue from Kurapika here. 13th Prince Mariam constantly has his pet hamster with him at all times. At the next banquet, I will have 8th Queen Olito activate Siren's ability and try to take control of that hamster. If this works, this will be the best chance we get to learn about the other princes' situations. Very cautious as always, as we know. But there's still almost an entire week left until the next banquet. 1 hour would be 150 days, 24 hours would be 10 years. 1 week. I guess it's not realistic. Queen Olito, I know everything has been thrown into utter chaos right now, but that ability has a time limit on it. So what exactly should I do? The ability to control small animals is the absolute best suited for scouting work. If you use it, you'll be able to monitor the other prince's actions. The most ideal organisms are flies and mosquitoes. They are able to fly through the air, and being that they are found ordinarily everywhere, they do not arouse any suspicion. Well, they might. You never know. Benjamin or even Sarajnik or Zhang, they might see too many and suspect something, and they'll just be too cautious and start having these insects exterminated. If you come across either one of those, immediately issue an order to Dolphin. It will be able to hit the target for you. It's a bloody convenient ability, I will say, that Togashi has given Kurapika, but you know, that's how the story plays out sometimes. Kurapika, do you wish to equip me with that power? If you do that, you will learn the details of that power, and you'll also be able to use it. Furthermore, you will also be able to use your steel chain again. You'll be killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Indeed, if I equip the Dolphin with the ability I stole, then I'll learn all about it and be able to use it once. But if the worst case scenario should arise, and that ability has a difficult condition required for activation, then using the ability itself will end up becoming my biggest problem, as I'll be forced to remain in Emperor time. No, I'm fine for now, yeah, being cautious again. You know, he's my boy, you know, you gotta go with the flow as he's doing. That would without a doubt mean my death. For now, so he's thinking of the worst possible scenario here, and he's taking all considerations into effect. He's what can I say about it? For now, let's split up and search for the room. Shimano, please answer the phone. Emperor Time's rule, while activated, every second shortens its user's lifespan by 1 hour. It's a fucking... that's huge. That is fucking massive. That's the thing. 3 people said it at once. The first, Prince Benjamin, the third, Prince Segli, and the 5th, Prince Tubepa. They may suspect that we've colluded with the person we spoke to first. And even if we deny it, there's no proving it. And if you hang up on the princes you've left waiting, that will be a declaration of war. And here we are at the end of the chapter. The guy that Benjamin sent to Kurapika, he's rung the doorbell on top of 3 phone calls, 1 visitor, which gets chosen first is a matter of life and death. Chapter 364 ends. So once again, I enjoyed this chapter really. It was about as good as, I'd say, last week's chapter. A fine chapter really. The pacing was similar to last week's. So it was pretty quick in the moment of time. I really think this assassin, bodyguard, whatever, Vincent, he was very cocky when he was fighting Kurapika and Bill. He really thought he was a lot stronger than them and didn't use his Nen ability at first, which was a big mistake. Kurapika was able to take control of him with his Emperor Time judgment chain, and ultimately that led to his death because he didn't want to give any information to Kurapika about Prince Benjamin or any of the other princes, so he decided to kill himself for the goal of keeping Benjamin's identity and all his Nen powers and all that stuff a secret. But at the same time, I will say that's a big thing to do, kill yourself, a hired bodyguard, just to save the identity and the information for Prince Benjamin. That's a big thing right there. And even more to the point, as I said in my live reaction, how big it is that these bodyguards are willing to kill themselves in order to not have any information about Prince Benjamin be leaked. So, as we said before, Benjamin, he's proud, he's honourable about wanting to become the next king of Kaiken and what that means to him, but at the same time, he has this dark side. He doesn't really care. He probably does care a bit, like he'd be honourable giving his bodyguards a death because he protected his identity and the information, but at the same time, he's willing to let others die to complete the mission and not to let any information out. And that's the same thing that's potentially going to happen with Bubby Mania. Pretty much, he's going there, rung the doorbell while 3 phone calls at the same time to Kurapika. If Kurapika gets the better of him, he's very likely to kill himself as well in order to protect Prince Benjamin. And as I said in my live reaction, how cautious again was Kurapika in this chapter. He's taking every possible scenario into effect and thinking of the worst possible scenario, even that being the case to him being dead. So he doesn't want to take any risks. We've seen that from the start of this voyage, from the start of this succession war. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this bodyguard is going to do with Kurapika and how that will resolve. But the fight with Vincent was cool in a sense. I was right that it ended in about 6-7 pages. Kurapika using his abilities, working out how to beat this guy quickly, even though he doesn't know his Nen ability. Typical Kurapika, as we've seen in his fight against Uvogin. But this is the first time we've seen Kurapika had a fight since then, and even a confrontation of the matter. So I think the last fight was Uvogin, I'm pretty sure it was. So it's been a long time, and I hope we see more fights with Kurapika using his abilities against the other princes and even the bodyguards like this guy that we're potentially going to see him fight Kurapika next week. I want to see more Kurapika. I'm so glad we're seeing it, having him the focus instead of Killua and God. And let's just hope it continues. It's really good seeing Hunter x Hunter weekly, and I'm enjoying it as everyone else is. So let's just keep the ride going, baby. So thanks for watching this live reaction of Hunter x Hunter chapter 364. Let me know what you thought of this chapter in the comment section below. Did you like the fight between Kurapika versus the assassin Vincent, and how that ended? With that being said, like the video, share this video to the masses, and subscribe for more Hunter x Hunter live reactions, discussion theory videos, and other anime content that I'll be doing in the future soon. Thanks guys, have an awesome day.